Welcome back to the University of Houston's FLL training series. Today we will be working on a special challenge and some different ways to complete it. So today I have a mental challenge for you to complete. You don't actually need to program the robot, just do the steps as if you were. I'm going to give you a mission and I want you to go through the processes on programming it. After you're done, I'll explain 2 ways to complete the challenge. So, for today's challenge, we will be navigating around a square. The goal of your robot is your robot must follow a square marked on the floor, turn around all 4 corners, and return to the starting point. And your robot must be over the outline at all times. Also, for simplicity, we'll assume that you're using a basic tribot or skidbot. Go ahead and pause the video now and start planning your program. Welcome back. Diving right into the explanation, we'll start back at the planning stage. The first step was to understand the goal. Follow a square without leaving the outline. Seems easy enough, right? So now, next comes the rough draft of the plan in Pseudocode. The entire mission comes down to these very basic and simple commands. Move forward for a set distance, turn 90 degrees, repeat 3 times. So that's pretty basic. So now let's refine the draft with some more details. Remember, you can use the view function on the NXT for measuring distances. So a rephrase pseudocode would be move forward 7 rotations, and that's a random number, but let's call it 7. Do a dime turn for half a rotation. Repeat that 3 times. So the more detail you add to the pseudocode, the easier it will be to program it in the NXTG software. After we're done planning, we can move on to the next section. Programming the robot to follow the pseudocode is very simple. In fact, I'll give you 2 very different ways to accomplish this. So go ahead and let's start a new program in NXTG, and let's go ahead and place a move block down. Set it for 7 rotations forward, and then place another move block after that one. Set this one for a dime turn for 0.5 or half of a rotations. Now, you can manually place 6 more blocks or just copy-paste them. So to copy-paste, do a box selection of the 2 move blocks and drag them while holding down the control key. This is how you can copy and paste any number of selected blocks. Go ahead and do this 2 more times. You should have 8 move blocks in the active area now. If we played this program on the robot, we would see that it runs the mission perfectly, completely around the square. So now, let's learn about a different way to do this same thing. So delete all the blocks in the program except for the first 2. We'll be using these 2 blocks again, but this time we'll place it inside of a loop block. A loop is a type of flow block. It alters the execution of the program. In the case of the loop, it will cause a part of the program to repeat itself a number of times. So let's place a loop block inside the active area. Notice how it looks like a hollow circle with 2 blocky sides. Any blocks that are placed inside of this circle or loop will be repeated when the program gets to the loop. So go ahead and place our 2 move blocks into the loop. However, we're not done yet. We still have to specify an exit condition. We don't want it to loop this forever. Click on one of the sides of the loop block and go down to the option panel. Select the count option from the drop-down menu. This is our exit condition. Now, since the square has 4 sides, we want the program to run it the same number of times. So enter 4 inside the count box. If this program is now run, we would get the exact same result as the first program. However, instead of using 8 blocks, this one uses only 3. So what did we get out of this little exercise? Well, we applied what we know about movement and turning, as well as learning about looping certain parts of the program. After movement, looping is one of the most used concepts in robotics. Later, we'll cover how to use loops in conjunction with sensors to create more dynamic and smart programs. Well, that wraps up this video. We'll see you next time.